So now it's time to actually clean the parts here and dry them off. So there's no oil on them. I just have a lens cloth here, which I will use to just wipe off all of the old grease, oil, whatsoever it is. You can see it's really not good, but hopefully it will be back to normal. Wow. So it actually looks nice and fine. So there, I'll just speed up the. Yeah, it was the last plate I will clean, and now I'm actually, since I have a problem with my microphone, I will just use my to overdub my voice, so I actually have the sound coming afterward in the movie. Well, you can see the blades is actually a bit, well, the black stuff, I mean the black color on the blades, what is painting, I don't know how they did the oxidization, I don't know. The blades is actually looking fine. So yeah, I think it will be good. And then the front brass ring, I mean bearing ring, ball bearing ring, and here you can actually see it has also a 45-degree raise, and it's not on the other side, it's only on one side, and I will actually do nothing with that, just put it in again, and it's the same with the cover plate for the aperture blades. I will do nothing with that, and of course you can see in the aperture blades holder or whatever it's called, it will also be all fine because it's all clean. And now the balls, the steel ball and the spacers between the steel balls, I will do nothing when I put them in, because I think they have kind of lubrication enough, so they should, in my opinion, work all fine. So when you put the plate, the cover plate with the brass ring, here you can see the mark, and the mark on the aperture holder ring, plate holder ring. I don't know the word in English, but I will of course show it in the video. I mean, the video is all fine, but it's just the sound that I'm missing. So I speak over the whole video, the rest of the video, which is of course the first time I did that. Now, but you make sure you have all those marks, which you of course have to set in the beginning. But it will be very helpful for you when you assemble it again. And now I will put the blade holder into a rubber thing, and then I will add all the blades, and they also have to sit correct. They can actually only sit in one way. So when you put the blades in, you have to go clockwise. Sorry. It's the only way they can sit correct. So you put each blade on top of the next one, and so on. I thought it was, when I took them out, I thought it was the opposite direction should put them in, but it has to be clockwise to put the plates in. So it will be all fine. It's only the last one, when we come to that, it has to go under the first blade. And then I will take the last blade that goes in, and the blade before has to stick just the pointy end under, and then I will add the last blade under the first, and then just make some adjustment so the blade makes a nice circle. And then I think I will be able to put the covering on. Now then I can add the cover plate, and hopefully, but well, since I have my marks, I should be able to align it pretty good. Now you can see there are 2 holes more on the covering. And I think, should that hold? No, of course, it's the kind of adjustment holes, I think, when one has to adjust the plate, the cover plate, because there's only 10 blades. I mean, actually, there are only 8 blades. And then I have to align the pins, the aperture, the small pins in one end of the aperture plates, and get them into correct position. Which I find out it's not that hard. One can use tweezer to get them into correct place. Not good. But I have my special tweezer for aperture plates, which is really thin, and in that way I can just press down on the cover plate, in that way align the small pins. So you can see it's quite easy that way, and get them into, yeah, I think it's there. Then I should be able to actually move the plate. Yeah, I can just add the steel balls and the spacers. There is not really much room, so when I add the spacers, I think well, I found out that the spacers, they better sit on 2 or 3 places around to stabilize the brass ring, I mean the top plate actually. So I can add the steel balls, 6 in each section. So I will just do it on this side. Now I will just put the covering on, and in that way I hopefully can move the blades, but everything should be aligned up. And So this, the brass ring, one part of the ball bearing raised, and then I will align the cover plate with the front ring of the aperture assembly, and then I should actually be able to move the plates. Yeah, you can see. So there's no plate, no oil on those plates, which will be so good. Then I can add this the retaining ring, which not have to be fully tightened, just to so you screw it in so it's still loose and maybe miss a half a turn or so. And you have to, when you lock the retaining ring, you have to hold on to the at the same time as the front ring, and then align all those marks so they will sit nice and fine. And then you put in the little set screw, and it will, when you screw it in, it will lock all the things together, so nothing will move except for the aperture plates. So so the whole thing is actually kind of a ball bearing system. And then I can use my little yellow tool, which in my case, in my meaning, is actually better to do that than using a lens tool, because you have more control of it, will not just slip in a way. So now you can see I have aligned the cover ring, and of course it doesn't have to sit tight. Remember, it's a ball bearing, this whole system. So now it sits where it should, and then I can add the little set screw, and in that way lock the whole thing. So there, and it will, if it's aligned correctly up, it will actually have the set screw finding its point underneath, so it will be sitting correct. So now I should be able to actually move the oh wow, it looks so good. I can move the aperture plates and all the things, and everything looks really good. Now I'll just try to clean the lens element with some lighter fluid. And I think it will be the best thing to do. Well, I could have taken out the back lens group in the middle, but I will just try to see if it's possible without doing too much. So we'll just do this. There's just some lighter fluid, and just very gently yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely really good. Yeah, I think it looks really good. No problem there. So I'll just continue to put in the aperture assembly. And it's a good thing, because when I put it in, I do not think of it will fall out. I can just add it here. The little lock screw here have to align up with this hole here. So I can just put it in, fall into place, click. That's really good. Then put in the small screw, which is this one. Then I can work safe with the aperture assembly and put in the whole assembly into the what do you say, focus assembly. Just tighten it, not too much. Now this is really good. Fine. Now, what I figure out, this, I'll just use my 2.5 millimeter flathead, because I think it's just better. You have a better grip onto the screw, like this, and something like that. Now then I can, I actually figured out an idea to assemble it, because I need to hold on to the spring here. It has to sit up here, and it's difficult to both hold the spring, aperture assembly, and so I think, okay, I can put it into those rubber tools and see if I can manage to hold the spring on. I tried different ideas, but let's just say it can be a little tricky, but see, it works. But one really have to be tight on the spring here, so the spring will not loose and the screw will just fly away, which is not good. But now you can see I should be able to add the screw into here without the biggest problem. Yeah, all fine. That's really good. Tighten it good. And here we are. Wow, look at that, look at that. It didn't at all work before. That's great. So now the rest of the lens is actually just to assemble it. And I also need to put in the lock ring for the aperture assembly, so it cannot move at all, but it shouldn't be a problem. So add this, and with a lens tool, compass tool, or whatever you have, I will just tighten this good. So, and then that's all fine. The aperture should still work as it should. Now that's really good. So now I can put it in the in the focus assembly, and never forget this because then you have to pull it out again. So the lens hood has to come in. So just to make sure, yeah, you'll learn. And now it's time to put everything together. Since my microphone is working again, I can just put everything in. The aperture spring here, I thought it was weak, but it wasn't. So now we can put it in. See, I have my tape, and I have the piece of tape on the other side here. So I should actually just put it in and line it up as it should be. And yeah, then put in the retaining ring with my homemade special tool here. It would be all fine. So I can just set it to almost infinity or 20 or so. It doesn't really matter. But then you can put in the retaining ring as it is. Boom. And so I can just turn this tool backward, I mean counterclockwise, to get the retaining ring into correct thread. It's better just to just trying to screw it in, and you'll probably damage the thread. So going a little backward, it would say click. Something like that. Not good enough. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. I think it would be there. And then I can screw it in, and it should be all fine. I mean, imagine doing this with a lens compass tool. Well, it would be a little challenging. So that's why the tools, those tools here are really much better in work that way. Now, you see, then I can just set it to, let's say, 1.5 meter, because then I can still see the tape up here. You can see it is not aligned fully. So if I tighten it and put in the back part here, it would not be correct at all. So, but I can just set it to something like that, so that you can see the tape is aligned up with it. It should be fine, but maybe not fully. But pull out the lens hood so you have a good grip here on this front part here, and then I can still tighten the retaining ring so much, and it's still in line, you can see there. So I think I will just go for tighten it with the 17mm wrench, and so, and then tighten it as good as for now, so we can see it's lined up fully. Then I will put in this part here. I don't know what the name is, but it doesn't really matter. You can see it, of course. Now have the red dot here, and I find out one thing, because of course I have put it together a few times just to figure out that I thought this part here would have been too, what do you say, too tight in a way. And I thought, wait, maybe this part here, all the bearings here, should have been taken out or flushed with the lighter fluid or whatever. But I found out this pin here has to be straight. I mean, not bend it out a little, which it was. But also this pin down here, the actual connection pin up to the front in here, the where it moves the aperture plates. And then I put it in and find out that it was a bit sticky in a way. So, and then I found another thing. Well, because it was not that easy to just put in, and it would not just go straight in. It was binding a little. And then I found out a little thing about this. Those holes here, and this one and this one, there was some kind of, I don't know the name in English, but there was something sticking out when they made the hole and put in the thread. Also on this one and this one, especially those two, but not the screw. Then I found out, okay, I need to simply, with a fine file, simply grind it a little. So I just very lightly, and it should be just the weight of the file, simply go over, and it would stick to it, because something was, well, kind of sticking out. And it also affected that on the inside here, I could see there was some marks here, especially here, and something over here. And it would affect of when I moved this aperture connection pin, it would not fully close the aperture because of the spring. And I thought the spring in here was a bit weak, but it wasn't the problem. It was more here on this, both this part here, but also the pin here was not at all straight. It was more, if we can just push it a little, it was more like this, and it should be there. So it's just an example, of course, but it was because I could see there was some mark up here on the side of this pin that would actually, well, what do you say, bending into the side of the inner of the focusing helicoid. But now it should be much better, just to be aware of if this pin is not just going back or fully close the aperture, it could be that. So it should also fall into place, which it didn't. But now it's much better. And then I can turn the aperture back here. And if I put in one of the screws here on the side, then it will also be much better. Just put it in here, so it doesn't have that problem. Now I can just put the aperture ring on, and it should be something like, since the aperture is fully closed, I'll just add this, set it to 22, which will be all fine. Now, see what's happened. If I turn the aperture ring, it would go back. But of course, it's what you say, it will not, if the aperture steel ball, the ball in here and the spring, it won't do that, because the spring is what you say, what's the name in English? It's not strong enough to just pull the bag and fully close it. But see what's happened, and it didn't do it before. So if it would affect this, but before that, it would affect that the aperture connection pin here would maybe go until there and not fully close the aperture. So it will be something up here, and then I could help it to close the aperture, and it didn't work that well. But since I found out the solution of the pin was bended a little in here, it's so much better. So now you can see it will work. So when I put on, we can just try, just to see if how much effect it actually have on it. Just put in the spring here, and then I can add the steel ball. It won't fall down there. I did that before. So then I can add one of the screws. Load your screwdriver with one screw before you put it in. I mean, this is just a test, so you can see what's actually going on. I have my red dot here. This the lock notch will be here, and the first screw here will go onto here where the little spring is. Yeah, I know I do not have put the other pin here for the aperture ring, but it doesn't really matter. I'll just put this on here, turn it a little, so you can see it will work that way. Yeah. And if I put this on here, now the aperture will work that way. So if I set it to 22, like now, you can see it works as it should. But before that, the pin in here, it will say this pin from the back here, it was bended a little, so it sticks to it, and it will say it could only open a little. I mean, yeah, open a little, which was not good. But now you can see it fully open, and it fully closed by itself. So that's everything. It's good. And here you can see we are not really proper aligned, because you can still see part of the blades in the circle. And if I put on the front lens group, we can see it will be visible in the outer, I mean, not the outer, but yeah, you know what I mean. Just put this on here. It's not that sticky anymore, those rubber cones. So I'll just take another one. No, not that sticky. So probably need to add new rubber cones to make it work, but you can also do that way. So fine, they probably have better tools at Leica, but here you can see it should be fully open, but it isn't. But now it It's not fully open as it should be, in my opinion. So what can we actually do? Yeah, well, we could, and that's what was my intention to show, and I hope I'm right. So out with that front lens group, and in here at the front. Well, there is a meaning with this retaining ring here on the front, the little set screw, because to adjust it when you have tightened the back retaining ring, how do you actually adjust it? I mean, fine tune it to correct position. Well, as I see it, I don't know, but as I see it, one should loosen, not unscrew, but only loosen the set screw in here. So just maybe 2 turns or so, and in that way it should be possible, but of course I don't know if it is. But here you can see it actually is. You can adjust this to correct position, no matter how this I mean the aperture ring is set to 4, and then I should be able to move this adjustment ring, as I see it, into correct way, and then I should be able to fully tighten it, the set screw here. So there, and in that way I would be able to fully close the aperture and fully open it. And there you can see I have adjusted to correct position because the blades are not visible at full open. So this is how you fine-tune the blades to correct position. As I see it, I would think Leica would do the exact same thing in the same way. They maybe have a tool, as you can see here. There are 2 small holes here, there, and there's another one over here. So I would think, without knowing it, they would have a kind of a what you say, maybe it's a lens tool like this, or another tool. I will not do it, but if you think of, you have a tool like this, and at the same time you move this ring a little, one way or the other, and then I mean you set it to full open, aperture 4, and then you aligned this ring and then lock the set screw. So everything should be aligned up, and I think it's that way they actually fine-tune this to correct way. But you can see now it still works as it should, but now it's the aperture 4 is at aperture 4, and aperture 22 is as it should be. It's not really that much, but just to make sure you have the correct adjustment of this ring here, and then you lock the set screw. And I think it's all about this, so I can just continue to assemble the rest of the back and say that's all fine. It has been a very challenging lens to work with, since there is no information about this. So I think, okay, I will provide that, and hopefully you will find it interesting. And it is, when you know how things are working, it's not that hard to actually work with. So I just can go back to, I will just take off the mount and take care of the spring and the steel ball in here to get it loose, lift it up and get away. And you see the steel ball will stick into here. So and I will just put the steel ball in after that. But I need to put in the other side, I mean the other pin here, so it will sit correct too. And there. And maybe I should have used some thread lock on the retaining ring down here, but well, I tightened it good actually. So on with the aperture ring and lined it up, because it can sit in 4 different positions, so make sure you do it correct. So there. Wow. And it should also be fine. Yeah, that's really good. So my red dot is here. My steel ball, the tiny steel ball, and the spring is already in. There, there's some kind of grease on it. So there should be something. So I just use some liquid moly. No, not liquid moly, but Molykote EM-60L. And it's a really good grease. I also have the other one, the EM-30L, which is also a good grease. I haven't tested yet, but I will. But for now, I can just put this on here and load my screwdriver here. Okay, my hole is here. The notch, the lock notch is here. My red dot is somewhere over here. So it should be that screw hole here. So I can just lower it over and make sure it sits correct. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's all fine. I can move the aperture and the click is fine. Then I can add the screw. And then I'm safe home in a way. And it still works. Wow. So it worked really good. And then we are actually done. It has been a longer journey than I expected because of my microphone was not working. So I made the overdub, which was not that great fun. I think it's difficult to speak and see what you actually do, but when I made it when my microphone was working, yeah, it is of course much easier when you have things in your hand, but speaking afterward, nah, it will not be the thing I do. I like to speak and work at the same time. This makes the thing so much easier. So now you can see everything is back, and I can set it to fully closed, and then everything is lined up. So that's great. Now, to put in the black I think it's called a light shield or so, we have to set it at aperture 4. Make sure, because this cutout here, where you can see this cutout here, has to go over, and I have to set it to something like 3 meter. I mean 3 feet. Yeah, I would think so. And then I can lower it, because then there will be space enough for the plastic tube to go over. And then I can lower it over here, and it should, you maybe have to push over here on this side, on the plastic tube, press it down gently, and then it clicks into place. Then I can add the 3 small screws here, and I'll just start with this one over here. So there. Make sure the screw comes in correct. Don't tighten it yet, because then you can adjust this tube into position of the other screws, just so they sit correct. And the very brittle plastic in here on this light shield tube, well, they are just in that way because they are old. Nothing to do about it, but of course you can just screw the screws in very lightly. So there. And this one here doesn't have to be tightened too much. So now we are back on track. Well, everything works as it should. Yes. Wow. That's really good. If I need to adjust something in here, I'll just keep the tape on. If I think, okay, it's not that good, but it is. But just if you're messing around with the aperture and you don't think, I have to do it again, okay. Or there may be some dust in there. You can just have this inline position. So this is actually what I have for this time about this lens. Yeah, I'll just say Happy New Year to everybody out there, and wish you a good new year. That's all for me. See you sooner. Bye bye.